So it looks like I got logged out here with Docker configuration. So we're back in. We're going to go into our next steps here. Um, so it's just giving me a rundown on how to do everything at on the command terminal. Run your first container. Da 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 da. Okay. So we have here different types of containers pre-installed. So let me go back to where I was. Not sure if this will load up my. No. Okay. Um, so what we're looking for is going back into OpenBB. So it's GitHub or OpenBB install with Docker. Um, let's take out this thing. All right. So there we go. So we don't want that one. We want GitHub. All right. So we want the Docker installation. Three ways, raise an issue. We are using Docker. Here, I might choose the right one. Using the installer. Yes, we want Docker. All right, so we have Docker. Download the latest Docker image. Okay, I guess we got to do that. All right, let me just load up my terminal here. Hopefully this will run. So now I'm running everything in Windows, not a Linux subsystem that I had before. Okay, so it's pulling it all down, which is good. That's what it's doing. So much easier. Now we're ready to run. Every time you want to use it, you need to run this command. Okay, so hopefully this will be much simpler than trying to do it natively on a Windows Linux subsystem. Using something like Ubuntu, it's just, if you saw my latest, it's just a dog's mess. Hopefully this will be a lot easier, all within the Windows and in a virtual environment in in a Docker environment for Windows. So we'll see what happens here if we can confirm to run it. So this is the next step we got to do. Once the confirm the image has been created. So we got to do that command right there, Docker images, make sure this is all created properly. So this is so much easier than what I was doing before. It was a, I might post that version. Just it's a Anaconda, just a nightmare to work with. But good that they've done this with the pre-configured Docker. You get a bigger user base instead of doing it natively with like on Linux or on Windows or even Mac for that reason. Mac is just bizarre sometimes, but I'm no longer going any more Apple product. Expensive and just not as good as combined between Windows and Linux. My recent move back into Windows 11 has been pretty positive so far. It's been a couple of weeks, especially on this new laptop. So hopefully that'll run. Boom, extracting. That's fine. And then we got to run that Docker image. So this will all be done through the Windows terminal, not some Linux subsystem or WSI. Uh, this is all done natively 100% on Windows. And what I'm building here is specifically for OpenBB so I can run the terminal Python script. Because what I want to do is be able to run the encapsulated OpenBB files with the commands in them and then generate all the files for that. So give us a couple of seconds here. But I do like OpenBB immensely. Okay, there we go. So let's run Docker images. So Docker images, just to confirm everything. Yeah, so there's our OpenBB terminal. Looks like we're open latest. Yes, image created 3 weeks ago, 2.5 gigs. So now we got to run this guy. And hopefully, let's see what happens here. This is to run the container. Let's see what happens here. Okay, so there we go. Not quite what I was wanting, but this will. Okay, so we got run it, GCR, open poetry latest. Okay, I guess that's the easiest way to do that. Cool enough. Um, let's see here. We wanted to run Python terminal. Local installation of GST on. I'm not going to touch that on Raspberry Pi. So what is this? Yeah, I didn't want to run this Anaconda version. So quit. Okay, so um, there is an OpenBB here. I don't know if that's a previous install. So let's see if we have any Python scripts in that stall. We don't. Huh. This is the binary version. Uh, let's see here. PWD. Let me just see how to do a find on Windows. What I'm looking for is a terminal Python script if it's available on my Python on my Windows system. So we're gonna do a Windows find. Oh, you know what I could do? Do this. So we're looking for terminal Python. Config terminal, OpenBB terminal. That's all we got. Oh, here we go. No. So we don't have OpenBB terminal. Okay. So OpenBB terminal and OpenBB terminal. So we have here. So we don't have the Python, the terminal menu features. Python terminal helper. Python was not found. Uh, that doesn't matter. So it looks like I have no other choice but to go through that option. Damn. Okay, so let's do this then. All right, so I do have a fresh install um, WSI subsystem for Ubuntu. It's on here. So let me show you that. So there's virtually nothing on here. Okay, the version of Python, which is pre-installed, I believe, 3.8. Does this have pip? Sudo pip 3. Let's see. So we're going to go with that dangerous option here. So let's try it out. So we're going to run these commands. Nice thing is I can unregister the subsystem, the Linux subsystem. Right, so we ran that. So now we got to do an Anaconda install. We recommend using Conda and Poetry because it just works. You can use other distributions and use raw instead of Poetry, but you will likely bump into installation errors. If you're using Windows, click only if not using. You only need to install. How do we, if you're using WSL installing on Linux. Okay, so we have our prerequisites. Um, so we have to install these. Okay, so we're going to do a sudo app install. Okay, we're done there. lbeg mesa. Oh man. Is there no other easier way? Let me just see. I'm going to see if we can install it using apt-get. Ubuntu apt-get install Anaconda. This is probably going to be cleaner than my other attempt here. Yeah, I got a better idea. Some easier. This one, this is a good site. Ask Ubuntu. Wget Anaconda 3. Okay, I guess we want this one. I gotta tell you, this Anaconda is a complete mess. But with with OpenBB, because it's so big, you got it. I would only follow what they suggest. Okay, so for users, the 3. Okay, so we got that. So we gotta make sure we have the correct. So we're gonna run bash Anaconda. Okay, so hopefully this will work. Yes. Okay. I'm not a fan of this thing. My last attempt was with Anaconda 2. So it's gonna take a while. Yeah, I'm not a fan of Anaconda. I just like using, as I said, raw pip. I just never had a real issue with it. But if they're saying OpenBB saying I got problems with it, I mean I've got it working with the Docker, which is good. Um, Now we're trying to get this running within the subsystem. Yes. Okay. Okay. PyCharm is available. Okay, so we're not using PyCharm. Okay, so can I run Conda now? See? Fuck. Thank you, Conda set. If you prefer for changes to take effect, close and reopen your current shell. And if you prefer the Conda's base environment not to be activated on startup, okay. So we run that, reload the Ubuntu, and hopefully we can now run Conda. Oh my God, it runs. That was something I didn't do in the last step, so that's probably where I messed up. All right. So do we have activate? No activate. Amazing. Anyways, back to we go. Conda install Anaconda git. So now we got to run these instructions, I believe. Installing the terminal. Hold on here. Okay, so we got to update all this funky stuff. Copy, update, system update. If you don't do these will definitely fail. Okay, so that's installing updating the system, the Linux system packages. Then we got to do that. Hopefully this will run okay. That's CMake. Lucky this is a fast system. Okay, hopefully this will go smoother than before. My error problem was I installed Anaconda 2. That was number one. Didn't do the shut down the terminal and let it run so I could get Conda running on the terminal, on the Linux terminals. That was another problem of the other original installation. So that's that. We got it. Hopefully pip will work. Oh, please, 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 please. Oh my God, pip's working. We're getting somewhere. All right. So now we're going to do a git clone. Just move that into the Python. Okay, so now we do a git clone on the OpenBB. Mm, 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 mm. Okay, so we want that. This is now going to download the git repository of OpenBB. This is much easier now. Hopefully this will be much, much easier. Okay, so that's going to take a while. So now we go to here. But what I worry about is this, activating this virtual environment. I didn't see that command in Conda because it's Conda, right? Okay, this takes a while. So we're going to name the environment OBB as they suggest. Um, so hopefully we can activate this environment, the Conda environment. I'm praying we don't have issues here. Okay, we're almost done. These next two steps, creating the environment, um, matters. So I believe we are just git cloning. Yeah, we're git cloning the OpenBB environment, the repository. Wow. Meanwhile, back on the ranch, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Remember, it took quite a while to do this before. You gotta remember, oh, the this thing is a beast. Okay, but we are getting somewhere. That don't work too good. Oh, it's readjusting. No. Alrighty. Today would be good. I think we also got one more step during the cloning process, but this thing is massive. This is easily the biggest GitHub project I've ever worked with. Um, but OpenBB is massive. So far, what a mess. What a mess. The previous version I had a video. I might load that up to YouTube, but it just goes to show how much of I messed up. Okay, so we're done there. Cool. So now we got to go into open terminal. All right, so now hopefully this is where I failed in the previous original video. Yeah, we're getting somewhere. This we didn't get to this far in the previous video. Oh, that's a lot easier. But this activate, I don't know if that'll run because I didn't see a conda activate command. Just open up another Ubuntu terminal here. So let me just do that. So in here, conda activate. Oh, yeah, yeah, there is a command here. So that's good. All right, so we are progressing. This is really good. Got to follow every single instruction, not what I do. The previous video. This is actually working and much, much cleaner. But what I do like about this setup with Windows and the Linux subsystems, I just unregister it and you create a new one within seconds each step, and boom, you got a new Linux system if you're running Ubuntu. So kudos on that setup. Because the thing is, I'm showing you the Docker, which is good, and now I'm showing you running it natively. So Conda, okay, so here's all the packages that get downloaded, the dependencies, the Python package dependencies for OpenBB. Um, Hopefully we'll get a few things here set up. This is pretty cool. Much easier. I was frustrated with in the previous video. It's going down the wrong path. It was just something Anaconda 2, Anaconda 3, big difference. Um, Instructions were a little vague there, but we're getting really good progress here. So the next step that we verify, we got to activate this OpenBB environment. So right there, that's what we want. So now we got to run this command here. So conda activate OBB. Boom. Okay, that's working great. Now we got to do poetry install. Hopefully this will run. This is the, I believe, all the dependencies for the OpenBB. They were previously installed into this environment. Um, so, uh, so it's installing everything here. Okay, so we're making good progress there. Now, okay, so another thing is if you want to do the predictions, you got to install TensorFlow by running this and Conda. So our instructions so far look like they're working nicely. All we want to do is run that Python terminal, all the things we want to do. We're very close to it. Um, yeah, so I'll show you how we gotta run this. So in order to, once we get everything installed, and then I'm gonna tear down this Ubuntu's Linux session, reopen it, and show you what you gotta do to get access to the OpenBB and run the terminal. Meanwhile, back on the ranch again. Merry Christmas. And this is a very fast system, so I'm pretty happy about that. But just look at the number of dependencies and packages that this OpenBB has. It's absolutely to maintain it. And I was said in a previous video, imagine the source code base for the terminal, the Bloomberg terminal, all the C++. This is Python, but with the Bloomberg, it's just a complete. Ooh, I'm sure there's like a team of maintainers on it um, for the uh, for the terminal. I'm not sure if it's just like it will have its server end in C++, and the terminal is kind of like a dummy terminal, and then it'll just log into through a Windows session or through a web session using the Bloomberg terminal. I'm assuming that's how it works, where all the I'm not sure how it would work if how much of the code is local on the terminal and how much of it will connect remotely into the server end. So I don't know. What do I know? Okay, so we're done there. Um, so we just ran poetry install. So let's just do this TensorFlow here while we're at it for the prediction. This is the nice part. This is the really nice part of OpenBB, I have to say. Okay, so off it goes. And then the next step is if you're having problems with poetry, which we're not, we can go right into run the terminal, Python OpenBB terminal after this, be able to hopefully make predictions like I couldn't in the previous version on the binary version of Windows. But with this subsystem, the way it's set up, this has all been natively installed using these Python tools, including, as I said, the prediction module, which is the TensorFlow. That's the absolute most valuable part of this whole OpenBB as a research tool, being able to predict all those different machine learning uh, ways to predict um, price action on whatever tool you're wanting. So this is very exciting. Let's see here. So hopefully this will install properly. I'm not going to worry about the prediction part yet. Um, for whatever reason, it shouldn't fail. But mind you, in the Windows binary, there was a message saying that that feature was taken out. That they're coming out with a something called a forecasting. So I don't know what they're doing. That could be this error that you're seeing here. This initial frozen solve could be part of that. I'm not sure. I'm fairly new to this whole process, but so far, my confidence with Anaconda has been risen if I follow the instructions properly to a T, and hopefully we'll get this running. If not, I'm not going to worry about it. All I care about is just getting that Python terminal running, um, so that I can do just the basics. I mean, the terminal, sorry, the prediction part's really valuable, but it's not like I'll die because I'm not able to run that feature within OpenBB. It's a really nice one, but I'm not sure. I'll have to research that to see where it's at if it's not running. But today would be nice. But just so you know, the TensorFlow that is using the TensorFlow package, which is Google, that's a huge package itself. So if you want to reverse engineer to see how this platform, OpenBB, uses TensorFlow, plus the usage of all the different modeling within TensorFlow, it's probably a good environment to work from a coding perspective. So those are all the TensorFlow base that's getting installed now. It's a good sign that it's working. Um, but it's a big uh, package as well. So they've done so far. I mean, OpenBB, the project has been pretty good at installing everything as is. I haven't really run into any weird problems considering it's open source. I think they're trying to make it very slick so that uh, people like myself and other people could come in, start playing around with it, using it. Um, it's going to eventually get. I'm sure it'll get closed sourced at certain points because they have to make money somewhere. I don't know where. From what I'm seeing, I think it's going to be the data and probably the prediction part sometime in the future where they'll start making all that valuable. So they'll start charging people money because they've been funded. I don't know, like $10 million in this project so far. Um, if you look on my blog, you'll probably see it. So there you go. Okay, so we're done. Yeah. Okay, let's try out the Python terminal. Let me just see terminal. So there is the terminal there. So we're going to run Python 3 terminal. So this should load up our Python OpenBB, hopefully. There we go. So there it's running. Um, that's pretty cool. All right. So let me try one of them. So we'll do stocks, load Apple. Let's see if the prediction runs or I can get access to it. Predict. No error so far. That's good. There we go. So it's now X. Oh no, there we go. So I guess we gotta load Apple again. Pick target column for analysis. ETS maybe. So it looks like it's doing funky things. So is it? I think it's working. Exit terminal. Return to previous menu. Let me just run another one. LSTM. LSTM. There you go. So there's the charting's working great out of the what's that server. So maybe it's going to start running some other stuff here. So it's going to run these different epochs as if I'm an expert in any of this. But this is very exciting to see now. You can apply the machine learning with this on OpenBB. Very powerful. But you got your chart here. Maybe it's going to start updating more charts here. I'm not sure. It's going to run 50 of these, but you probably have to run a pretty fast system. But so far, this is really good. We're at 15. These are probably different simulations. Do I really need to run this? I'm just going to terminate this. Okay, so there you go. So we're back out of OpenBB. Let me go exit. Okay, so now I'm going to reset the Ubuntu. Let's just see this. Ubuntu. So I'm going to run that. Okay, so now, okay, so we got to go to Python and then go to OpenBB. See our Python scripts here. Okay, there's our terminal, which is great because now I can do Python terminal. Oh, yes, yes, ladies and gentlemen, always remember this. You gotta activate that guy right there. Gotta activate your Conda environment for the OpenBB, otherwise it won't run. Conda, boom. Okay, so now I can run um, Python. So there's the terminal right there. So I should be able to run it now. Terminal. Boom. Okay. So there you go. Running perfectly. Exit again. Let me just do that again just to make sure I didn't get lucky. Oops. Ubuntu, the app. This is the subsystem, Linux subsystem. So in here we've got to move it to our Python, and then we got our OpenBB directory. And again, you cannot. So there's our Python terminal. So again, you got to make sure you activate this environment, the OBB environment, and then we can run the terminal. And that's it. So that's to get your Conda activated, and then uh, once that, you could start running the. Um, okay, so let me show you something here. I think I can run Firefox install. So I'm going to install Firefox here. This is now again on the terminal, on the Linux terminal. So I'm going to install Firefox. And what I want to do is load in some sample. I'm not sure if they're already installed. Let me just see here. Go to Open GitHub, OpenBB. So we are looking for, is it routines? Yes, so we were wanting to run these little guys, these OpenBB files. So, they contain all of the different commands uh, within OpenBB and run them in the terminal. So let's see here. You got test ETF. This is so powerful. This right here. So let me just go into. We have that already preloaded, but just in any case, if you want to run Firefox now from within the Linux, it should load up. Yeah. So this right here, this Firefox is um, the Firefox uh, for the Linux system. Okay, for the subsystem. When you run it, just as a tip, you can run this ampersand, and what that will do is it will uh, run a separate process of the browser, and you could do that on any command running within Linux. So you can run whatever you want, put an ampersand in the end, and I'll run that as a separate ampersand as a separate process, so it won't tie up this process here. Just as a tip. Anyways, let's see what we got here. So we're looking for scripts. This is now again for OpenBB. So there we go. So now, um, okay, so we have there. Okay, so I am going to, so we have here on this level, the terminal. Here, oh, I'm sorry. Okay, so back to we go. In here we have the terminal. Okay, so there's our terminal that we want to run. So if I get access to the scripts, there we go. So what we can do is we can go terminal, open Python terminal, and then run one of these guys. So test, what was it? Test ETF. Oh, wow. So I'm going to first try this one, the test ETF. Let's try that. Test ETF. Oh no, we got to go scripts, test, ETF, OpenBB. So let's try this out. Let's see what it looks like. This is very powerful. So it's going to run all these commands, and you can output them into a separate file. This is incredible. Um, I'm not sure if you could do this with Bloomberg. So there's a charting. So, you can easily use a bash or write some kind of shell script that will run that and be able to save all the files as well. So that did run. So for instance, what I could do here as an example, I could just run this to out txt. All the output would be put into this file with minus the charting that it ran. So there's a couple of charts that were generated through that. So these are just some examples. So people want to see the power of this, just using the power of Linux scripting. Plus, as you know, this can run within Jupyter as well. Very, very, very powerful. And it's just an absolutely incredible platform. And again, it's open source. So here's our output file. So let me just pull up that. As I say, real men use Vim or VI. Show you how far back I go. So let's see if it outputted. Yeah, so there's the output right there. All the output then has been somewhat put in there. Like right here, this ETF holdings. Well, I guess this is for the yeah, here. Okay, so let's try one more script. There was a prediction one as well that I saw. So ETF prediction OBB. Okay, so let's run that one. So we just take that out. Come on. Python open, and then we'll just slip in prediction, OpenBB, take that out, and this should run as well. So this is now prediction using ETF. There we go. So it's doing all the Unreal. So it just ran that, whatever it did, which was ETF prediction, Monte Carlo exit, load spy. So very simple. So if I did that again to output txt, let's see what it does. Again, minus the charting. You got to admit, this is pretty powerful stuff. So Vim output txt. So there's any output request to feature, but you get the idea. All right, so that's pretty well it. Now, you should have done this earlier. If you like this sort of stuff, to see what else I do, I recommend you get into our email list, quantlabs.net/books. Get a couple of trading books here. All your info is kept privately. And that's pretty well it. Ba boom, boom, boom. We got that working, and I'm very happy. It's all good. Hopefully, you've got it working eventually. And good luck with the adventures of all this. I'll put all this, the URLs, links in my blog. Over and out. Thanks for watching.